Okay, so now that I have my document created, I'll just give you a quick overview on the workspace for Photoshop so you can understand where everything's located a little bit better. On your left hand side, we have the tool bar, okay? And at the top left of the toolbar, you have a double arrow. With that double arrow, you can actually choose to have a two column or a one column layout for your toolbar. At the bottom of that toolbar, you have the screen mode. And with the screen mode, I can actually change the way that I view my document. Around my artboard window, you see at the top and the left a ruler, which is my horizontal and vertical ruler. At the top of my window, I have my menu, okay, and this menu has many options. We have the normal or standard file menu, our edit menu. We have an image menu where we can change image sizes, canvas sizes, layers, menu. We have a menu for our typeface, for selections, for filters and effects. We also have a 3D menu, and this is for creating 3D models in Photoshop. We have a view menu where we can view our document with different forms. We can hide and show guides or create a complete guide layout for our document. And we have a Windows palette. Windows palette, we can choose the type of arrangement, the way that we see multiple documents at once. We also have our workspace, and our workspace basically is the palettes that we have available for us to do specific work. So if you look at the right hand side of my window, here I have floating palettes, and right now I'm working in the Essentials workspace, and I have the Essentials palette. If you want to see the workspace that are available to you, at the top right hand you have a search icon, workspace icon, and you have a share icon. If I click on the workspace icon, here I can see the different options that I have for different workspaces. I can also create my own workspace based on the palettes that I use most of the time. So let's say that I want to go from the essentials. I want to use photography palettes because I'm working on a photo. So now I have new palettes like the library of different items that I have used before. I have my layers palette, I have my adjustment palettes, and my histogram palette as well. And I can switch back to the essentials and everything will be restored back to normal. If you look at the bottom left of my window, you will see the zoom in percentage, which now is at 66%. You also have the dock size, which right now is 9.1 megabytes, and next to it you see 0 bytes. Now, the first setting is the actual document size at this point with only one layer, one artboard. If I start adding content into my document and creating new artboards, the number on the right hand side will increase. So you can always see how your document is increasing as you are adding layers. One thing that you may want to also check is your presets. So if you go to the top left of your window under the word Photoshop, you can go to your preferences, and here you can see all of your preset preferences for how Photoshop is run. The general will take you to each one individually, and you can actually set up Photoshop in many different ways to be custom to your liking. Under the interface, here you can change the actual color of your workspace, the way that you view your document in different previews. Here you have the workspace, how you show hide panels, how do you open documents as tabs or as single windows, your toolbars, whether they show tooltips or not. Here you have your history log, your file handling, how do you uh, always save different images with previews or extensions. How do you export your documents? A quick export, you can change how it's set up in different formats from PNG to JPEG. The performance, your Photoshop uses RAM space to run. If you want your Photoshop to handle larger documents and run at a much faster speed, you can increase the memory usage of your RAM. But if you have other programs running in the background, those programs may freeze or slow down. Another option is to have a external drive specifically to run Photoshop, and you can use the RAMs of that external drive to run the performance even higher. Here you have also the cursors. How do you see your cursors? Transparencies, how did they look as a grid, as a color. Here you have your standard increments for your rulers and your type, your standard new document resolutions. How do you see your guides? Are you enabling to have plugins generated? How do you see your typography, your 3D, and enhanced controls? So there's your preferences and your workspace.